Hey photographers, today you are witnessing history. Paul and I are going to attempt something that's never been seen before on YouTube. You are watching a live, pre-recorded and unedited version of Truth or Dare, camera style. Paul Chato, he's the host of multiple shows on his Peter Paul Chato network, yes, also on YouTube, is joining me today.
Hello, Martin.
Hello, Paul. Ready for Truth or Dare?
Yes, I'm ready for Truth or Dare. Now, are you referring to the Madonna Truth or Dare, where we have to do embarrassing things like strip naked and swim around in some peanut butter, or do obscene things with cucumbers?
Gosh, your mind goes just the most interesting places. No, you know me, Paul.
Filthy places. I go filty.
This is fully clothed Truth or Dare. This is the teenage but parents watching version.
You're the straightest person I know, which is why I like talking about disgusting things, seeing your reaction.
Just to see what I will do, right? And
right.
Now you have me at a disadvantage because I've promised that this is live and unedited. So
correct. We have to keep going.
It's going to keep going. So do you have your camera ready?
Yeah. And my old phone is ringing, so just ignore it.
All right. What we're going to do to decide who gets to go first is the camera off. And then when I do the long dash following 5 seconds of silence, then we'll start. Does that work for you?
It's fine. That's a CBC reference, I believe, right?
Exactly. No one gets that.
Only people in Canada who listens to CBC radio will get it. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Tell me when. Okay. There we go.
I think you got there first, Paul.
I think so. This little old G85 is pretty snappy fast.
I think it's actually, maybe I shouldn't have used manual. I should have used manual focus. Because then,
well, here, I'm going to take some pictures of you. Okay, work it. Come on, look at me, baby. Come on, that's it. Come on, work it. Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh, that was gorgeous.
Thanks. So bad.
Of course, I know what I'm seeing, right? Of course.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get this thing going.
Yeah, so you're clearly faster off the draw. Paul, Truth or Dare?
I'll go for Truth.
All right. So you are now sworn to tell the truth. Paul, tell me and my viewers, do you need full frame?
Whoa. Well, I'm a micro four thirds guy. That's a hard question to answer, but
truth,
you know what?
Truth.
Okay, in all honesty, yes, you do need full frame. I think my sense is that things are coalescing and standardizing around full frame lenses. This you have to double the millimeter size to figure out what the full frame equivalent is, which isn't so bad.
Right, it makes that math a lot easier.
And then being able to count on a certain kind of bokeh. Now these cameras are still brilliant. Yes, Mar-a-Lago, bokeh. The thing that's brilliant, I still think, is what's good about micro four thirds, especially with video, is that you don't have to have monster depth of field, which is much more difficult to deal with. And I do like to have context with my backgrounds.
Yep.
So not everything has to be blurry city.
Right. Well, and
I think is good.
In defense of micro four thirds, video resolution, even at 4K, is so small that even like a micro four thirds sensor is fine for doing video. That's not really the issue. I mean, you don't need full frame
old camera,
50 megapixels.
Yeah. This old G85 does 4K brilliantly. The other thing is sometimes I shoot at 1080p. And there's a few full-frame cameras I've tried where the 1080p actually sucked horribly.
Right.
So, you know what?
There's too many
camera I'm shooting on a
combine.
G9. Yeah, that's right. Too much density.
Right. Too much density.
So, yeah, but I would say that a full frame is the future, and things are going to standardize around it like it did back in the old days.
All right.
There you go. There's my truth. Okay, so how about your turn? Truth or dare?
Okay, dare.
Dare, okay. I dare you to take photos without changing the defaults on a brand new camera out of the box.
No, oh wow. No, the trouble is, so first of all, I guess because it would be in auto mode when it's new, right? When it's all in its default.
Sure.
And I'm going to say I don't mind the auto mode. I think most cameras, you're going to get a decent photo if you're using auto mode. But what I hate, what I will not do, which is why this, you know this, so the default JPEG settings on a camera, and I'm looking at this Sony. Yeah, so it says quality. So by default, it would be JPEG fine. But I can't. You bought this expensive camera. It's got this JPEG extra fine. Why would you shoot in fine? I don't get it. I would never do it. That. I don't know if. Yeah. No. No.
Well, I mean, people buy their expensive camera and then they cheap out on their memory card, and so this way Sony allows you to put a bunch of pictures on without running. Lowish quality. And then there's the whole situation of JPEG only. I mean, I would imagine the first thing that you would do is either do flip to RAW or have combo JPEG RAW, right?
Right. I don't. That's okay. People who just want to shoot RAW. Great, and people who want to do both, great. But if you're shooting JPEG, that you wouldn't use the highest possible quality setting for your camera. That just, I'm baffled by why a manufacturer would ship a camera configured that way.
I think you're just being a camera snob. I think you're concerned and you're afraid that the camera out of the box will take better pictures just in its automatic settings than after you have read the manual and you've fiddled with everything and you've set it to your premium manual settings, yet the camera will take better pictures out of the box without your fiddling. Because you're a master fiddler.
Thank you. I fiddle while Rome burned.
That's right.
No. And you may be right. One of the things I often say to photographers, to my viewers, is that you don't need to use the manual settings until you're disappointed with the results in auto modes. Use the auto modes. I think they're fine. I don't really have a big complaint with that until you see that it's not doing what you want. And then, the first thing you might want to adjust is the exposure compensation, but then only if there are other things that are bothering you about the photo and you know that you could fix those in manual mode, that's when you need to use. I'm actually...
It's part of the learning process. I will say that when I bought my Konica Auto Reflex camera in the 1970s, and I was kind of an Ansel Adams zone photographer kind of guy, it really irritated me that the Auto Reflex exposures were almost always better.
Yeah,
and
it's disappointing to learn.
I had my Sekonic meter, and I was doing everything, and then the bloody camera just did fine on its own.
Oh, and cameras are so much more sophisticated these days.
Especially now, yeah. Okay,
let's
back to move on. Okay.
Truth or dare, Paul?
Okay, yes. I'll go dare. Dare
All
me.
right, so Paul, I dare you to use only the kit lens with your camera.
Oh, that's nasty. Okay, hold on. I have to get it. It's in the other room. Okay, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, Martin. Okay, sorry. Coming back. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I stepped on your toe. Sorry. That's right. Oh, you got big feet, you.
I don't.
You Dutch guy. You do. Your feet are
I'm wearing
huge.
my
Anyway,
Vans. These are Dutch shoes.
Here, I've got my...
Paul Van Doren, he passed... Mr. Vans, Paul Van Doren, passed away recently. I was sad to hear that.
Any related to Mamie Van Doren?
That's a very good question. I have no idea. Possibly.
Okay, so
Dutch
here it is. My 12 to 60. There we go. Yep. Taking pictures here. I'm taking pictures of you now. Okay, work it. Come on, good, Martin. That's fantastic. That's a close-up. Okay, so here it is. Here's my 12 to 60. Yep. I replaced this on my G9, which I'm shooting on now, with a Leica
Right.
12
I was going
to
to say, like,
60.
you don't usually use the kit lens, though. You bought that nice, fancy, expensive Leica
Yes.
lens. So you could be
Yeah,
part of the Leica
I
party.
did. Absolutely. So there was
So you get
four
into the
reasons
exclusive
why.
areas of the club.
That's one of the 4 reasons I bought my Leica lens was so when I'm out on the street, people could go, "Ooh, Leica!
Yeah.
Ooh, Paul, that's
Women
a
throw
Leica
themselves at
lens."
your feet.
Yes, they do. Yes, women love guys with Leica lenses. The bigger the lens, the better. I understand. So the Leica, of course, the brand was the other reason, was one of the reasons. But the other reasons were very, very quickly that this is not a parfocal lens. And for video, I want to be able to zoom in, focus, and then have it in focus throughout its range, which is the old ENG camera thing. You zoomed in, got your focus, and then everything was in focus all the time.
Right.
The other thing was it's a brighter lens, so I could use it in lower light situations.
Oh, so
and
it's easier to find in the dark?
Yes, that's correct. And I just put the new Apple tag on it, and I can find it. The last thing was that I just assumed that the Leica lens would be way sharper than this, and my biggest disappointment after doing extensive testing was this lens, this crappy kit lens, was as sharp as the Leica lens.
No, that's surprising.
I know.
Because my experience says it's the very opposite. You've got a great camera with a great sensor, and the kit lens just can't take advantage of it. There's chroma aberration, there's extreme softness around the edges, and I found that with just about every brand. It's not, it seems to be a general practice to ship a kit lens that can't actually take full advantage of the sensor that you've just bought.
Now that you mention it, there is a bit more purple fringing with this lens. But unless you are zooming into the tiny twigs of a tree with bright light on it, you won't notice it. I was actually shocked at how good this lens.
Well, most people don't look for those
is.
kind of things anyway. So most people, the kit lens
True.
seems fine to them.
So there you go. I did the dare. I put my kit lens on and I shot with it. Okay. Your turn. Okay. Truth or dare, Martin?
I'm going to go with the truth, Paul.
Okay. Have you ever forgotten to put a memory card back into your camera and then only realized you didn't have any memory cards upon arriving at some foreign destination?
I'm going to ask you to be just a little bit more specific about the foreign destination. Was it Mexico?
How about Portugal?
Portugal. See, now, and there
Lucky,
you got me.
just
right?
a complete guess.
I did arrive on a holiday in Portugal with no memory cards in the camera.
Wow.
Now, luckily, you can buy an SD card just about everywhere, so it's not really all that big a deal. But it's
except it's formatted in Portuguese, so you have to change the language when you get back home.
Lightroom does that.
That's handy.
Yeah, Lightroom supports an unbelievable number of languages. No idea.
Yeah.
But if I can continue there with that for a second, because it's embarrassing and it's upsetting. But I don't understand why in 2021 with, onboard memory being inexpensive and small. I mean, how much memory is there in your phone or whatever device? And so I don't understand why camera manufacturers don't put, 64 or 228 gigs of super fast memory in the camera itself. Then you could record video at the highest speeds reliably. You would have super large burst buffers. I mean, the advantages are there. I just don't understand why, I have to arrive in Portugal and realize that I have no way to take photographs until I go buy a memory card. It doesn't make sense to me. Put a little memory in that camera.
A couple of things. Martin, let me give you a tip. Whenever you pull out the memory card out of your camera, don't close the door. Leave it open.
Oh, okay. Good tip.
And then because I've done that. I've actually, picked up the camera and gone out and went, oh crap, no memory card. This is the way I get around that, is I always leave it open if there's no memory card in there. The other thing too is
I only do that for batteries actually. When the battery's out, I leave the camera sitting upside down with the battery door open, so that I know there's no battery in. So I never arrive in Portugal without a battery.
But without any kind of memory card. Now, I would tell you the reason, like my old Olympus point and shoots had a little bit of memory in them, but they were very much lower resolution cameras, the 3 megapixel. But I would say the reason is the same as when I was working for a stereo company selling stereos, that you didn't make any margin on the actual stereo, and I would imagine camera shops probably make very little margin on the actual physical camera, but they make most of their money on stabilizers and memory cards and all that other stuff, which is where they point you. I mean, when we were selling stereos, we had to sell you monster cables that were hundreds of dollars, when just a lamp cord would have done the job. That's where we made our money. And I think that's the same way with camera stores. You are, by having so much memory in a camera, you are removing the incentive of the camera store to actually sell your camera,
but increasing its value for photographers. Someone has to be willing.
Who cares about the photographers? What are you, nuts?
Right. All right, Paul. Truth.
Okay. Yes.
Or dare.
Okay. Truth or dare. Okay. So I'll go for truth.
All right. So, tell me the truth. What does ISO mean?
It's the cold water cube things that you stick in your scotch, right?
Kind of melted.
Some people don't like putting ice cubes in. No, ISO. I don't say ISO. I say ISO.
That would be incorrect.
Because it's a standard,
actually,
right?
Paul. No.
What are you talking about?
The name of the
International Standards Organization.
No, in English the name is the International Organization of Standards, iOS. But because it's different in every language, they decided that they would use the letters ISO, and that's some Greek word meaning all the same. I'm no student of foreign languages.
Ouzo. Maybe they were thinking of ouzo.
Maybe they were, but it's the name of a company. It is not.
Okay.
It is not an acronym.
Interesting.
ISO.
Wow. Okay, I had no idea, but we used ASA here in North America. ISO, I think, was more of a European term.
I think that was DIN.
I've heard of DIN. I've heard of the term DIN. We've just got way too many acronyms.
That's true.
And,
anyway, but
my point. So ultimately, I would suggest, because cameras lie about what their ISO is, because 200 ISO on one camera is not the same as another.
Standard.
No, it's no longer standard. It's not the same as when film had stamped on it. This is a 24 ASA roll of, what was the Kodachrome? 25?
25.
25. So long ago. I would say that because these cameras are essentially video cameras, really, even in still mode, that we should be using the term gain.
Right, because that's what you're doing, is you're turning up the gain in the amplifier.
Correct.
Of the information, the pixel information coming from the sensor. Yep, I agree.
Yeah, and I think we could probably standardize on gain numbers would be great.
Yes, then you would know how much you were amplifying the signal. Yep, I agree.
There you go. Okay, so last one, last truth or dare, over to you. Okay, I dare you to install a strap on your camera. It's the worst thing. I hate
it. It is. Let
me
go find a strap. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm going to do the polite thing and go this way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. My feet aren't that big. They're size 8.5.
Did you guys have a good time chatting while I was gone?
Oh, we had a great time. We talked about you.
As people do. So I have two choices for you. I have this nice soft one, which that could work, or I have one that's actually branded Sony.
No,
it says Sony
the
A7,
Sony branded one. Yeah,
likely I purloined that.
I like the corporate branded strap because what it translates to is steal me. That's,
Do you think?
That's what it is. Oh yeah, the black strap with the giant yellow Nikon logo on it. And it says, "Come here, steal me. I've got an expensive toy around my neck."
Right. But yeah, so first of all, this camera has these awkward little earlugs that
oh yes.
Now I'm not sure, the camera may have come with them pre-installed, but they don't always. So installing these little rattly things, wow, they're annoying. And then they're noisy.
That
right?
bothers me with Panasonic too, because you take the strap off, then you've got these little rattly things when you're trying to shoot video.
Right. Because I take them off when I'm
really
shooting
annoying.
video. I only
Canon has the flat built-in one.
Yeah, I like those. But no, I've seen them on other cameras as well, I think. It's not just Canon. I think I had a
the
Fuji
Contax
recently.
Hey, what happened to Contax? How come Contax has no digital cameras? How come there's no Contax? That's another discussion.
All the famous brand names we knew from our childhood?
Yeah, that's gone.
Okay, done.
Oh,
the strap is on.
Very good.
Yeah?
Good. Yeah. So
Although I'm not happy.
I
mean,
going strapless. I always go strapless when I go out with my camera.
Right. But there has to be a better, simpler way. Like, why is this so complicated, tedious?
That's a good point. How come there isn't a MagSafe for straps?
Oh, that's so smart. Why isn't there a MagSafe for straps?
Now you just snap. Just use magnets.
Yeah.
Make it easy.
Well, so that's the end of our Truth or Dare for today. Was that satisfying?
That was good.
Yeah,
you had me
so.
concerned that you were going to get into some untoward territory and ask me to do some awful things.
No. Thanks for playing. And for viewers, for our next round of Truth or Dare, please use the comments to suggest truths or dares that you'd like to see us explore. As always, civil comments, please.
Yes, please.
I can see how this could go very wrong.
It could go very wrong, Martin.
It could, yes. Yep. I'm going to stay fully clothed. Whatever the truth or the dare is. May I do my extra?
Please do.
All right. If you are the kind of person who likes videos or subscribes, or if you feel inclined to join and support this channel, you'll find the appropriate buttons below. Do check out Paul's channel. This week, he taught me how to micromanage. All your tips are just wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for watching. Stay safe.
Thanks, Martin.